Hello friends. I found a cool article called "Tell us why you gave up on immigration ideas." Well, I want to read it. My friend wanted to move to Poland. She has Polish roots. She gathered the necessary documents and contacted the consulate. But it turned out that the country wasn't ready to immediately accept a woman together with her daughter. At first, she would have had to move alone and then, after 6 months and a series of bureaucratic procedures, try to bring her child over. Of course, this option didn't suit my friend. But honestly, I don't see anything so terrible about it. Because besides Poland, there are still about 30 other countries you can move to. We had a similar situation. After the Czech Republic stopped issuing residence permits, which was where we originally wanted to move, we started considering Slovenia. We had almost reached the point of signing a contract with a company, but then we found out that you can only bring your family to Slovenia after a year. That is, the director leaves first and starts a business. If the business is successful, then he is granted the right to bring his family over. Naturally, we also gave up on Slovenia and chose Montenegro. Basically, we have never regretted that decision. So, the woman could have done exactly the same thing. Let's keep reading. The second country she considered emigrating to was Serbia. So, Poland didn't work out, and she started thinking about Serbia. It's easier to move there, but the standard of living in Serbia is not very high. It is not part of the Schengen zone, and citizenship of this country does not open the doors to more desirable European countries. Yes, all of that is true. Life in Serbia is worse than in Poland. It is not in the Schengen zone. But, friends, let's be honest. Everyone who has been to Serbia, even just as a tourist, I think would agree that living in Serbia is much more comfortable than in Russia, Ukraine, or any other CIS country. So the woman refused to move from a country where her quality of life is worse to a country where her quality of life would be better. And by the way, where salaries are higher than in her homeland. For some reason, she refused this. There's no logic in it at all. Moving on. Another acquaintance dreams of moving to Helsinki. She likes Northern Europe. The city is close to Russia. From there, you can often visit your homeland and see your relatives. But what bothers my friend is that it's impossible to find a good job without perfect knowledge of Finnish. And in the first years of living there, during the adaptation period after language courses, you'll have to do an internship as an orderly, a cleaner, or a dishwasher and kitchen assistant. It's not easy for her psychologically to agree to such a social step backward. But again, let's be honest. The vast majority of people who talk about having to take a step back work at companies like Horns and Hooves or as minor officials earning 200 or 300 euros a month. This is the typical situation for an average, ordinary Russian, Ukrainian, or I don't know, some other regional resident. And yet they talk about taking some kind of step back when they're being offered a salary even for low skilled work that's 10 times higher. At the same time, they currently have no prospects, no opportunity to improve their standard of living. And there they're told, go ahead, yes, the work is low skilled, but the salary is 10 times higher. There are opportunities, there are prospects. Your further development depends only on you. And people say, that's a step backward, we won't go. Absurd? Absurd. And there are a lot of interesting comments left on this article. There are a huge number of them, more than 300. I didn't go through and write out all of them. I just picked out a few. First comment. I think you should go either if you're poor and have nothing, which means you have nothing to lose and can agree to any job, or if you're rich and can afford a comfortable move. But if you're in the middle, already living a comfortable life, then moving isn't just stepping out of your comfort zone, it's basically taking a couple of steps down, and there's no guarantee you'll be able to climb back up. Well, this kind of viewpoint, I've heard it more than once. And usually, most of these so-called middle-class people, those who consider themselves middle class, they have something like an apartment inherited from their grandmother, some inexpensive car, and again, a salary of 200 to 300 euros. And they talk about being middle class, about having something to lose, that they have a bird in the hand and won't go chasing a crane in the sky. In my opinion, this logic is also unclear. Comment number 2. Since 2014, I started seriously thinking about moving, but it was around 2020 that I began looking into it. Mexico and some other Latin American countries. Then there were a number of high-profile political events, and I felt the desire to make my own country better. Well, all that's left to say is, good luck to you. Live your life and wait until it gets better. Comment number 3. I think about it all the time. Immigration is an important step and I want to move to the perfect country. But, as my research has shown, there is no perfect country. Everywhere has its pros and cons. I still haven't figured out what's important to me, why I should move specifically to country X and not to Y. But there are people who spend years, even decades, thinking about something. In most cases, it ends the same way. They end up staying in their home country. I, on the other hand, didn't spend that long thinking about it. I made a list of all the countries in Europe. Next to each one, I wrote down the immigration requirements and figured out which ones I couldn't move to. I crossed those out. I found out which country I could move to. Out of those few countries, I chose Montenegro. This whole selection took me 2 days. That's it. I don't see why you'd need to think about it for so long. That's all from me. Goodbye, everyone.